The LCAT expansion here is actually a result of the need that we felt from the ever expanding demand of the customers in terms of the volumes. This is the third LCAT plant to be rolled out of Pune, which has been a concern to us in terms of our being able to forecast the market demand. But we have been evolving and expanding as the OEMs have been. So this time we said we will this time prepare for a 30 to 40% extra space in the first phase itself. So which is how when you went on the shop floor, you saw 50 or 60% occupied, and there was 40% was earmarked for future expansion. That is a challenge that we don't want to fight again. I think the way Indian market has been growing, we needed to have a mega plant for emissions. For the reason that there are so many filtration technologies that we are coming out with, and till the time the ICE engine continues to have a large play, which we believe is still for another 5 to 10 years, because the EV ramp up has not happened to that extent in the four-wheeler space, and this business or this joint venture caters to 50% of the PV space and 50% of the commercial vehicle, right? Commercial vehicle is almost negligible right now in terms of the electrification. So from that perspective, and also from the fact that we have recognized the need for this particular joint venture company to be able to adapt and change itself as the vehicle powertrain changes into more of a thermal management company in terms of emissions. So the space and the infrastructure have been provided with that particular aim. We intend this to be a showpiece facility for the Western-based OEMs, and for the Western-based OEMs, we are given to understand a forecast of 2 million vehicle production capacities over the next 24 months. So we don't want to be found napping, not being able to deliver in terms of the volumes, and therefore we decided to have this mega plant. These are very critical products, like being the lifelines to the engine management system today. They like provide oxygen to the engines. The clean air that they suck from the environment and the filtration processes that they go through ultimately result in the engine health. The particulate matter, if it is high in terms of impurity, will throw out more impure pollutants outside, and that is how it will pollute the atmosphere further. This particular joint venture is unique in the sense that we of course don't work with the government of India directly, but sensing the OEM requirements, we recognize that BS6 regime is going to get a requirement for a lot of products which are going to be compliant in terms of the environment management. So urea tank was a derivative of one of these. A urea tank is an extremely advanced product like an AdBlue tank, which goes through the selective catalytic reduction process, where the urea that is injected into the system or the tank then results in the production of ammonia, which finally then breaks down the harmful NO2 into nitrogen and water, which then dissipates into the environment. Now all of this, while it sounds a little easy to hear, is an extremely complex mechanism that goes inside. So the urea tank was designed and developed at LCAT locally here with the support of Cornalia, and it was rolled out in the middle of COVID month that the BS6 rollout happened, which was April 2020. Not only that, we have also recognized that the next set of mandate with this particular joint venture is its lightweighting mandate, which comes by default to the advanced plastics or the polymer technology that we have here. Now typically metal versus a plastic would have a 20% upside minimum in terms of the lightweighting mandate alone. Also, plastic, by virtue of its inherent capabilities and the advanced polymers, more such capabilities, have the ability to be corrosion resistant, be recyclable, and therefore pollute lesser and therefore throw out lesser toxic elements outside. Also, they are able to adapt very easily to the packaging space. So Lumax Cornaglia brilliantly offers a global technology that has a capability of being indigenously localized here, produced here, most of the raw material sourced here, except for some imported raw material like hydrol, etc. That does come from the outside India facilities, and then to be able to then give it to the OEMs without the OEMs having the risk of running out of the capacity challenges. A mega plant like this therefore helps the OEMs in giving at least those 4, 5, 6 products that we have in our kitty right now, in case of an uninterrupted supplies. Sustainability and environment consciousness, we could probably not do it in such a big way at the old facility. The new facility is built on the green theme here, right? There is rainwater storage and everything that is going to be happening here. We already have a 50% renewable energy that we are using in this particular plant, and as Rajiv mentioned on the shop floor, the mandate is to get to 100% through the solar rooftop panels and everything. In terms of the plastic composite material itself, we are not buying recycled plastic, we are not regrinding any elements, we are not going into any kind of other low cost alternate options. We are buying virgin raw material from the most expensive, or let's say trusted sources globally. Now those global sources supply to the best global OEMs. It is the same quality of raw material that is coming here. Even on our air filter line, you saw the air filter paper that we are using, that is 100% Alstom, which is one of the finest and the most robust filter papers in the world today. So purely from consistency, purely from sustainability, purely from environmental friendliness, this is what is at play. Strategically, we have decided at this particular joint venture not to get into any metal, machined or casting element parts. Even if they are a part of our assembly processes, they are bought out, right? So that is something that we are doing here. Also, diversity you would have seen on the shop floor, and it would have looked like a pleasing mix even right now also in terms of the numbers, but our mandate is to get to beyond 50% diversity, maybe closer to 60% by next year in terms of the shop floor. That's how we are trying to address our own internally decided objectives on sustainability. So the idea is not to be just ahead, which then becomes a commercial business objective. We would like to be regarded as a technology intensive player in our own niche space. We do not see that there are too many people who are capable of supplying the kind of products like we do in India today. At best, we would have one or maybe two competitors for our kind of products. Where we definitely see our play is that we want to be regarded by the Western based OEMs as a go-to shop for the current products. The moment they are changing their preferences in terms of the powertrain, we would like to continue to be their partner even in that space. There's a particular product that you did not probably see today for strategic reasons that it is not yet into commercial production, which is the degas tank. A degas tank is an EV specific tank which manages the thermal management system of the EVs. That is only one of the products which I can name right now. There are more on the anvil, which this joint venture will be then rolling out. So we want to be the OEM's trusted partners now, not only in the emission space but also in the thermal management space to this particular joint venture, and whatever technologies that Cornaglia is testing and perfecting across the globe with the other OEMs, that is one advantage we have of bringing them here. Also, till now, slightly overlooked segment has been the off-highway vehicle space and the agricultural space. While I have mentioned that this particular joint venture is unique in the sense that this is the only business line in the group where more than 50% of the revenue is coming from the commercial vehicle space. Ideally, we would like to also have at least a 20% play of the off-highway vehicle and the agricultural space. Technologies like rotomolding are going to help us get there. We started with the plastic fuel tanks, but we are definitely going to go out for the other rotomolded components like the big cabin roofs, the three-wheeler roofs, the holding driver compartments of the off-highway vehicles and the large gators and the large excavators and everything. Now all of that rotomolding is capable of doing. So with this, I think we should be able to expand even further. While this particular joint venture started in air filtration system and air intake systems, I think today in terms of our revenue, we already have a 20% plus revenue coming in from the tanks, and probably over the next couple of years we should have almost close to 40% revenue coming from tanks alone.